characters are finally getting buffed in Honkai Star Rail as per the developer radio that we saw. We know from this that older characters are getting buffed, so I want to go over today what my 5 characters that I kind of want buffed are, the older characters that I think should be buffed and can have reasonably good buffs on them, or there are definitely room for improvements on these characters. So let's go ahead and start off at number 1. Guys, I know this is a character that everyone loves so much, our 1.0 queen. Well, maybe your guys' queen. I think she stinks. I don't like Seele, but I do think there is a lot of room for improvement with this character. Now, what do you mean by this, YouTube? She can't get any better. She's already top tier meta. She's still zero cycling. This bitch has gotten fucked so many times. It's unreal, bro. She's been dumpstered. She might really be the stinky hoe of Bellabog. I don't know, bro. It's how much she's gotten fucked by power creep, guys. And where has she gotten fucked by power creep? By a couple different things. So before we hop into her and all the other characters, what's wrong with these characters, right? So I think there are inherent kit flaws, like the characters' kits that don't even like they don't compete with what we have in kits today, right? And what do I mean by this? Ease of play, ease of activating their kit, right? Secondly, multipliers back then were a lot lower, meaning you're gonna get lower damage outputs now, meaning you're having to put more investment into these characters in terms of stats you're giving to them to make them perform better. So those are the 2 main things that I think affected just about everyone. Maybe not so much like your supports and like sustains and stuff like that, but we'll get into that in a second here, right? First things first here, let's go over Seele, right? I think the majority of her kits genuinely fine. I think you could increase this damage multiplier here. Like I said, I think all damage multipliers for DPS characters should be increased, especially the 1.0 characters. I'm talking about all the standard characters as well. I think if they're a DPS character like this, they should all be increased this as well. The big thing on her that needs to change is going to be the resurgence. I think resurgence fucks her so much. And what do you do by this first? First of all, increase this. Give her increased damage based off of when going into the state. Secondly, guys, you should give resurgence when the enemy is not killed. Now, I do think this would be way too strong if you gave this every turn, right? I think if you gave her an extra turn every single turn, that's fucking broken as fuck. Energy region's gonna be at the fucking wazoo here. What's her energy at right now? It's at a 120 energy cost, so she's already getting that. She's also gonna be getting her speed up a lot more as well. So I mean, there's a lot of things here that I think they could do this wrong, and I think they could make her way too strong. But resurgence is the main issue, because right now in the game, I think that the enemies have gotten to the point where it's very hard to one-shot them now with a very casual build. So you can't really activate the resurgence as much. The ability to get free extra turns was the reason why she was so fucking good, right? So how do you fix this? I think what you do is, instead of providing an extra turn when enemies are defeated, you eliminate this, right? I think when the enemies are below 50% HP, I think then you can start proccing this off. I don't think it would make her too strong, but I think it would make her a lot better. I don't think it would power creep the current DPS we have in the game right now. Like, I don't think it'd be better than the current DPS we have. I think it'd still be lower, but I think just being able to proc this off immediately with characters that are below 50% HP, or even every other turn, could be something very good to run her, right? So every other turn that's not resurgence, she procs this off. I think either of those 2 options here, she gets a free turn. I think this is what she needs to her to be really good again, because now we're facing bosses in the game that are being a lot harder to kill. This would also give her a lot more chances against those bosses to attack more frequently as well. So you attack that enemy and then maybe go to a side ad and do that as well, right? You also give enemies defeated here as well an extra turn on top of the below 50% HP as well. So let's say you kill a side ad, right? You wouldn't necessarily want to not get a free turn because you've killed that side ad, because they're not below 50% HP. They're technically dead, right? I've seen interactions in the game where that happens. Give both enemy defeated and below 50% HP free turns back. I think that would be absolutely amazing. I think this could help out a lot, especially if you attack a main boss. Then you have the ability to attack these side ads as well. I think this would give her a super big buff. I think this would honestly make her so much better. Now on to Silverwolf. Now Silverwolf's biggest problem, guys, is that in the game right now, we are very AoE oriented. There is sure some bosses that are very single target oriented, but like I said, the problem here is that she is very single target oriented. The number 2 thing that plagues her, guys, is the type change she has, right? Now I'm not saying type change is bad by any means. I'm saying when coupled with the single target of the type change, I think that's really bad, because we have so many like DPS in the game now that can change enemy type that it's really not beneficial to do this. Now, I do think if you fix both of these issues, she becomes a lot better, right? So let's go ahead and get into why that is, right? So for the ultimate, for example, right, we can take that, right? Instead of hitting one enemy, which Pela for me is already better than her in my opinion, because Pela does this, but for every enemy on the field. Number 1, guys, what you can do with this is you make this, instead of one target, you make this a blast move, right? So this hits maybe enemy 1, enemy 2, enemy 3, it hits this main enemy here, and then also applies to these 2 enemies as well. And then maybe you can still have that toughness break on that one enemy, or divide the toughness break up between 3 enemies. You could do something like that as well. But I think the big thing here is making this blast. And when I say make that blast, I think you can make everything blast here as well. I think you can make this skill move blast as well. Meaning, whenever you implant weakness on one enemy, instead of implanting it just on one enemy, you implant it on the other enemies as well. So 1 and 2, you implant whatever weakness on those 2 enemies. I think adding blast here is really essential to make her more viable, because not only would this counteract things like, say, a Firefly team, right? Firefly can implant weakness on one enemy, but what does Firefly kind of lack? Implanting weakness on alternate enemies. Now, I'm not saying to run her on a Firefly team. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if we get characters added to the game that implant enemy weakness on one enemy, you could use this to help speed that process up. You could also use this to help speed the process up of separate teams as well. Whereas Phase Shout can bypass, you have other DPS that can't bypass enemy weakness type, right? So I think this could be really good. It would also make her more skill point efficient, because you're only targeting one enemy and changing the type of 3 enemies as well. I also think you bring her debuffs with this as well. So like the weakness type damage res, I think you bring that to all 3 targets here. This would, in my book, make her a lot better than Payload, and I think it would set the scales right. Do it for this here. Like, you can literally do this for the whole thing here, right? Now, as far as this right here, right, I think the bugs would have to play with this as well, right? Because the type would be blast type. But I think what you would necessarily do with this right here, guys, is you would also make this blast type damage as well if it is a blast type move. I think you can keep the basic attack here a single target move. I don't think there's any problem in keeping this single target, but this alleviates both the issues, right? Because if you can implant weakness on multiple enemies at once, that makes her more skill point efficient, which makes her better for the team overall. You implant more debuffs on enemy as well, so your allies that really like playing off of debuffs also works. With that being said, with silverwolf, let's go ahead and move on to Bailu. Okay, guys, now this is going to be what our first standard character of the video here, guys. I think Bailu needs a lot of improvement. I know Pridewin gives her what? They give her a tier 2. I don't even think she's here. I think she's below this, truthfully and honestly. And the reason I think that she's below that, guys, is because of the fact that she has no cleanse in her kit, guys. I think giving her a cleanse in her kit would actually fix so many different things, because every other character in the game, I think literally every other sustain in the game has a cleanse. Give her a cleanse. That is one of her biggest weaknesses right now, in my opinion, because just so many things can fuck you over. Like, you can't get un-CC'd with her on the team. That's just fucked. Like, it's ass. Also, I think what you could do here as well is the skill here. I think you'd maybe bounce this one more time. Like, instead of bouncing 2 times here, you let this bounce 3 times. I think that would be completely fine to do there too. I don't think there's really much you have to do with Bailu to make her efficient, right? Like I said, add a cleanse to the skill here, make her be able to cleanse, maybe even let her cleanse with invigorate as well. Though I do think adding the cleanse with the invigorate would make her maybe very close to what Hua is able to do in terms of like sustainability. So I don't know if you would do that per se. I don't know why I put on technique there, but I do think by adding a cleanse to both the skill and ultimate move, like this would do the whole team, this would do the one target ally you do, I think that would bring her viability up quite a bit. And then also maybe you add it to invigorate as well. Maybe whoever gets invigorated loses 1 debuff as well. I think you could maybe do something like that as well. I think that would make her really, really strong and really, really viable. I think her overall outgoing healing is pretty good. I think like just her overall heals in general are pretty good. I don't think there's really anything else you need to change. Add a cleanse, add an extra bounce there to help out with some of the RNG healing that she has. I think she'll be fine. Now let's move on to Missy Moo here. Ooh, what's that look on her face she's giving us there? Anyways, guys, genuinely, guys, Bronya, I'm a Bronya hater. You guys know that I'm a Bronya hater. I'm a Bronya and a Seele hater, if you've seen any of my videos on my tier list, guys. Genuinely, I think for me, the biggest problem for her is honestly not even within her base kit. I think her base kit's pretty okay. I think you could maybe add some, do some slight increases to her multipliers, like maybe increase the crit damage she gives from the ultimate move here. Like, I think the damage she does there is fine. Like, I think overall she's pretty good as she is. I think the biggest problem is fucking E1, guys. E1 is the biggest slap in the face I've ever fucking seen. Literally fucking eliminate this, guys. Literally, just give her 1 free skill point back every other turn. I think this would make her so much more efficient. Fuck having to rely on a fucking 50-50. Remove this bullshit. I think this would make her so much better. She gives extra damage there. She helps your defense. I mean, that's kind of cope, but hey, whatever. Fuck it, right? Crew rate basic attack, that's kind of cope too. But overall, I mean, I think I would maybe not hate Bronya as much if it weren't for her fucking E1. I think E1's the absolute epitome of my fucking despair when it comes to my Bronya slander. Remove E1, or remove, I should say, the 50% chance from E1, We pray for that. Literally, keep E1 as it is. Just remove the 50% chance, make it 100%. That's all I ask for. Now, our king, Yanqing. You guys know how much I love Yanqing if you've been watching the channel for a while. And I'm a shill to the day I die. I have a shirt with this fucker's face on it, okay? With that being said, he's kind of ass. Not gonna lie. Can't fucking... Hey, you gotta count a spade as you see it, right? So, with that being said, guys, how do you increase what he's able to do, right? I think the biggest problem with Yanqing's kit is, first of all, multipliers. You have to increase all of his damage multipliers up here. I think even his base, like, everything here needs to be buffed up. Like, fucking get that shit up, bro. Fucking pump the fuck up, okay? I think you have to do that. Secondly, guys, what you have to do is I think he needs more ice damage. I genuinely think he needs to be able to do more ice damage, or maybe give himself some sort of attack percentage as well. I think he needs to, like, I think maybe increasing the multipliers could help with that, but overall, I think he gives himself a lot of crit rate, crit damage already, so maybe adding something else in here that gives him more ice damage or more attack percentage would also be really good here too. Secondly, guys, what's his second biggest problem here? I think this is fucking cope right here. Soul Sink. Fucking Soul Sink, guys. Jesus Christ. Remove this right here. Remove this. When he gets damaged, don't fuck it. Remove it. Remove it. He doesn't need it. He doesn't fucking need it, guys. Trust me. The most problems I have is genuinely with the talent here, okay, guys? And when I say that is, I mean, like I said, multipliers need to be increased. Increase. Like, all of these need to be increased here. But, brother. Remove the 60% fixed chance for a follow-up. We don't, just give him an immediate follow-up every turn. I'm fine with this 65% base chance to freeze. Keep that. That's fine. Remove the fucking follow-up. You're adding RNG on top of RNG, guys. So you're adding like the, oh, he might follow up. Oh, then he might freeze the enemy too. Remove that. Remove this. He'll already be so much better with this, by the way. Secondly, guys, just remove this. I don't think you need to be able to use skill every turn for this to be up. I think you should activate Soul Sink and it's up for the rest of the match. Has infinite uptime. I don't think you need it. Use skill one time, Soul Sink's up for the rest of the match. It doesn't matter if you use basic attack. It's still up for the rest of the match. I think that's a very reasonable ask here, right? I think that would make him so much more better. I think this is fine. Keep this up for one turn. Or maybe you can even increase this to 2 turns. I think that would maybe make him 2 OP. Maybe I'm glazing a bit here. But I do think the talent is the big... Ooh. Hello? Anyways, I do think the talent is the biggest, like, detractor from his kit here. I think everything else here is pretty fine. Anyways, main gist here, guys. Remove the fixed chance to follow up. Make him follow up every single time. Remove him, removing Soul Sink when being damaged. And also give him Soul Sink infinite uptime. I think that's completely fine. I think that would buff him up a lot. And I think that would make him a lot better. Also increases the multipliers as well. Now, that would be our 5 that I want to talk about today, right? Now, I want to bring up 1 or 2 more characters. You see I have JINGYUAN here, or Miss JINGYUAN here. And I have GEPARD here, right? Simple little thing for GEPARD here, guys. I think genuinely, okay, I think ultimate here is fine. I think you also need to give him some shield on skill. Literally, the only thing I would say here is skill shield. I think that would make him a lot better. You can get shield up more effective like this. Keep the freeze here. I think that's fine. Would I want to add effect res in there? I don't know. I think you could probably add effect res in here too. To your allies, or maybe prevent 1 CC from your allies. I think that would be fine. I think that would bring his value up a lot. So F-Res or CC prevent, right? So I think either of these 2 things here would be really, really good for him. So they could utilize both of those things to make him better. And then finally, for our boy General JINGYUAN here, I think what you do is, as you can see here, this gives the Lightning Lord 3 hits per action from the ultimate. It gives it 2 hits per action from this, and then none here. I think what you do is you give him 1 hit per action from his basic attack. I think for his skill, you probably up this to 3 hits per action. This would also make him a lot better as well, and a lot less reliant on team stuff. And then also ultimate as well, because this man is super reliant on his ult. If you're not getting his ult every single time Lightning Lord's coming around, you're not getting 10 stacks. So I think you make it easier to get the 10 stacks. Maybe give this 4 stacks here as well. And then for the Lightning Lord itself, guys, increase these multipliers a lot. I think you keep this the same, actually. Don't do too much with that. And then finally with this, I think what you do is fuck crowd control. Remove this. Let him act on his own. Like, let Lightning Lord act on his own. If JINGYUAN CC'd, JINGYUAN's fucking CC'd, let Lightning Lord still go. I think that would be an absolute massive win for him. I think this is like, doing something small like this would bring up the value of the Lightning Lord quite a bit. I think you could also maybe increase the base speed of Lightning Lord as well, or just increase his general action order to increase the amount of damage he's doing. I think that'd be fine here. Everything else here, increase crit rate by 10%. I think that's fine. Literally, increase damage multiplier here, increase the amount of stacks you get for Lightning Lord, and remove CC effects from Lightning Lord when he can't be hit. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Those are the kind of like the 5 stars that I want to go over today that could get buffs. Let me know in the comment section down below what 5 stars you want to see get buffed in the game. And also, if you want to see me do a full video on this, or what I believe should happen with 4 stars, and I think they should get buffed as well, let me know in the comment section down below. Then we'll make a full video on how 4 stars could get buffed and what the game would look like, or what those buffs might just look like. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, subscribe maybe, and that's gonna do it, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.